What's happening, scumbags? Welcome to Flying Casual. I'm Andrew Fantasia. You know me. You're used to my face already. But we got a newcomer coming on the show to talk about some goodies. This is Lance McNair from the Collider Jedi Council fan page on Facebook. Lance, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, I'm doing great, Andrew. Thanks so much for having me. It's an honor to be on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming, man. We love having guests because people get tired of us same old schmoes just talking about the same thing over and over. I mean, I'm sure all my fans are tired of hearing me say how wonderful Palpatine is. So it's nice to get new people to talk about a fresh pair of eyes never hurts anybody. So James and I were talking about how we wanted to have you on to discuss Rian Johnson and basically his sort of his view, his vision when he started this movie, and if that, where that might be now, if it's the same, if it's changed. So tell us, basically start us off. What do you think of what he has done so far?
Well, you mean as far as his non-Star Wars work, or
going into like his process of starting The Last Jedi? Like, obviously we don't know, for all we know that movie could be horrible, but like right now, as far as we know, like his process of making it and all the pre-production stuff.
I see. Okay. Yeah, so from what I know about Rian Johnson's process, it seems to me that he's had a lot of different influences with The Last Jedi, particularly with classic film. Like, just from what I've seen, it's a lot of different genres that have inspired him. Like from war films to sort of adventure/romance capers, and a lot of what he said early on about the films that have inspired him in making this movie, it just really has me thinking that he wants The Last Jedi to be something that, sure, it may be a darker chapter and it may go to really deep and dark places, but at the same time, I think he wants it to be a fun film. That's the vibe I'm getting from everything he said so far.
Yeah, you're right. He's very... I mean, we've heard all the talk from all the cast about how different this is and how shocking it is. But every time Rian speaks, he makes sure to let us know, like, guys, this is still the magic of Star Wars. That hasn't gone anywhere. And you're right. It's the fun. Like, there's something about a Star War that you're not getting with other movies, regardless of how great other movies may be. There's just something about it. And he seems conscious of that, and he seems like he's not going to let that slide no matter how much he changes. Do you think that there's, the whispers are happening about something big looming in this movie? Like in the last one, we had the whole issue with Han Solo dying, and like that was, even though a lot of people could kind of tell it was going in that direction, that was still a big enough surprise and nobody wanted it spoiled. How spoiler-filled do you think this movie's going to be?
That's a great question. I think it's going to have some shockers, without a doubt. I think it's going to have... I mean, it's hard to say that there's going to be a twist or a shock that tops Vader being Luke's father in Empire Strikes Back. But I think if any movie was going to do it, it would be The Last Jedi, because the plot has still been it's been kept so tightly under wrap. I feel like there's hardly anything I know about the film, and I've been avoiding TV spots, and I watched the first two trailers. That's it. And I've been hearing, the TV spots are kind of revealing stuff here and there, but for the most, still don't really know what's going to happen in this film. And I think there is some big stuff with Luke in particular. Those 30 years in between Return of the Jedi to now, I think that there's some stuff he was up to. There's some stuff he's seen that we've gotten little nuggets here and there in the books and all that, but there's so much that we don't know. I think we're going to get a taste of that. I think we're going to get the big shocks in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, you're right. That's a big gap of time. 30 years is a lot. We've seen what happens in like 2 days in the Star Wars galaxy. 30 years, who knows what happened then? And I think we're definitely in for some kind of moment that's going to catch us off guard in a good way. I'll put a question to you that I put to the other guys on the channel here. I'm going to name 3 characters, and I want you to tell me from 1 to 3 who has the most chance of surviving this movie, okay?
All right.
Luke Skywalker, Leia, and Snoke.
Is 3 the highest level of surviving and 1 being the lowest? Or
if one is the most likely to survive.
Okay. So Luke, Leia, Snoke. I say Luke is 1. Leia. So Luke is 1, and then I'd say Snoke is 2, Leia's 3.
I like that. I think that's what I hope. I hope that's right. I don't want to see Luke go. I feel like I would just lose it if I had to watch Luke die. But I feel like the closer we get to this movie, the more I feel like we're gonna lose Snoke in this movie. I feel like if anything's gonna throw us for a loop, it's like we would never expect the Emperor character to die, in the middle chapter. So I feel like that's really something that could creep up on us and become a thing. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but if they wanted to shock me, that would work. What about? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No. I was just gonna say I could see Luke killing him.
Yeah,
possibly.
And that's another big thing that we're all hoping for is that green lightsaber.
Yeah,
we want that green, baby. That's got to be a thing. I hope it's a thing. Now, you mentioned the Rian Johnson, the pre-production thing about all the movies he got his staff to watch. And those movies are, at first they seem like just broad strokes, but you're right. When you sort of zoom in on them, they're very telling. You've got, I'm blanking on a couple of them now, but you got Bridge on the River Kwai is one of them. I believe High Noon was another, if I'm not mistaken.
12 O'Clock High, I think is the one you're thinking
12 O'Clock High, yeah. That's almost the same thing. So very, very warlike movies, lots of dogfights, lots of soldiers. We've got a samurai movie in there. So like a nice mishmash of these sort of classic action adventure tropes that really, they remind us of the stuff we used to see Lucas looking at back on the DVDs of the old ones. He'd be like, I was watching this samurai film and I thought this would be good to put into my picture. So it really feels
great
like
impression.
Thank you. Actually, I met a guy yesterday who looked exactly like him, and I had to try to keep a straight face the whole time, and it wasn't happening. but it feels like Ryan's going for that really, he's looking at the classic movies. Star Wars is a very old-fashioned story, even in the way it's filmed, the way the music is. It's very old Hollywood, and it sounds like Ryan is trying to evoke that, because so much of it is going to be new and unfamiliar territory, so he wants to find that middle ground. I think that's what those movies are telling us. I don't know. Do you take away anything else from those?
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. And that's the kind of straight to the chase way of putting what I was sort of trying to say earlier is that, Rian Johnson seems to be really celebrating that at its core, Star Wars is that classic, grand, old Hollywood epic, he seems to really want to bring that. He seems to really want to bring that to us with The Last Jedi. I mean, just by everything I've seen, low counts we've seen, the set design, the sets, the costumes, from what we've heard about the action, and even all these films that we know have inspired him, he seems to really be wanting to celebrate, like you said, just that classic era of filmmaking. He seems to want to come back with The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I think he's the right guy for the job for many reasons, but primarily because of how much he knows how to walk that line. It's a tightrope walk, and I think he's got it down. He's found the right balance, which is supposedly what this movie's about, is finding balance in the Force, not going too far either way. So really quickly, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. Let's talk about Rey. What do you think the deal is with Rey?
as far as just like where she comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been such a roller coaster from the beginning as far as my thoughts on Rey's Parents. Now, when The Force Awakens first came out, even before it came out, like, I was 100% certain that she was Luke's offspring. And then I kind of went back and forth with Han and Leia, but I was set on her being Luke's. And then some more like canon stuff came out with the novels, like Bloodline. That got me thinking, oh, she's not Han and Leia. She's probably not Luke's daughter. As far as where I sit right now, I've gone from being recently really low on her being Luke's daughter to I'm kind of 50-50 again. I think she's either Luke's daughter or she's the daughter of characters that have yet to be introduced to. And she either comes from a powerful Force heritage or she's kind of the beginning of a new awakening, hence the Force Awakens, a new awakening of the Force in someone. Like the Force might have chosen her as she could be, for all we know, the start of like a new Skywalker lineage sort of deal. That's just one of the thoughts I have. She's such an enigma that I really don't have a set theory, but I'm 50-50 on her being Luke's daughter. If Luke is the father, then I think they're bringing in Mara Jade from the old books. She would be the mother, I would think. And if Luke isn't the father, then she's the daughter, which we don't yet know.
Yeah, I think that the idea of not having seen her parents yet, it really intrigues me. I'm still pulling for her being a granddaughter of the Emperor, just because that would make for such great storytelling, like just from her perspective alone. But I'm open for whatever. I mean, if they go in there and they say, "Oh, your parents were Ewoks," I'd just be like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
I think they're gonna give us something satisfying. I don't know 100% if, and maybe it was like an obvious thing and it just went over my head, but have they made it clear yet at all that in Last Jedi we're going to find out? Has that been sort of made official, or has it just been sort of like, maybe we'll find out?
I think, I believe from interviews that Daisy Ridley said we'll find out in The Last Jedi. I can't cite the exact interview or quote, but I've seen it. There was one point where it seemed like they were saying, we might not have all the answers, but I think I've seen Daisy and Rian both say we will get the answer to who her parents are. So I'm pretty sure we are going to find out in The Last Jedi.
Cool. So we only have, what day is it today? The 8th. So we only have like less than a week to go before we find out the answer.
Yeah.
She can't hide it forever. I tried to get her on Maury to find out, but I guess this is the next best thing. We'll watch the movie and see. So Lance, when you're not guest starring on crazy podcasts, where can people find you online?
So where can people find me when I'm not on here?
Yeah, when you're not guest starring on our crazy show, where on social media can you be found if people want to talk more Star Wars with you?
Well, the best place to find me is the Collider Jedi Council fan page. That's a show that's hosted by Christian Harloff of Schmoes Know, and Ken Knapsack's on there usually, and some other great hosts. This is a Facebook fan page for them. It's not an official fan page, but you can find me on there. I used to be an admin on there, but I've gone back to just being a regular member, and I'm always available for a chat on there. That's probably the best place, I would say. Yeah, so Lance J. McNair on Collider, on the Collider Jedi Council fan page.
Sweet. So if you're on Facebook, you want to talk more Star Wars, and like that page, there's Star Wars stuff, like every other minute, because there's so many followers on the fan page. So if you're starving for Star Wars stuff and you're going through Facebook, that's the place to go. Check it out. And then, of course, you can find us here on YouTube on Rebel Scum Podcast, doing our crazy thing, speculating about who's Reys Parents for the next 5.5 days until we can't speculate. What are we going to talk about in a week? What are we going to talk? We're going to have to think of new things to theorize. We're going to be like, who's Akbar's parents at that point? That's the only question we can ask. So Lance, thank you so much for coming on Flying Casual and just talking with us about Rian Johnson and about Last Jedi and all that good stuff. And I hope you enjoy the movie, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much, Andrew. Thank you very much for having me. This was a blast. I love being on here, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the movie as well. It'll be very interesting to see the overall response this gets.
Oh, absolutely, and I think so far it sounds like this is going to be a movie a lot of people love, and I can't wait to hear that love be expressed by all the fans. So until next time, this has been Flying Casual. He's Lance McNair. I'm Andrew Fantasia, and we will see you next time on Rebel Scum Podcast. May the Force be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.